Well, as we all know, former President Jimmy Carter passed away December 29 at 100 years old. It's a long time to live on this earth. Actually, compared to eternity, it's nothing, which is a warning for all of us that we're all going to face death. And it's always a reminder that this life is, well, it's finite. And compared to eternity, it is nothing. So make sure your heart is right with the Lord. Now, Jimmy Carter came to visit the Ark Encounter before it was opened in 2016, along with his wife, Rosalind. And afterwards, we actually had lunch with him at Cracker Barrel at Dry Ridge. I found him a very humble man, easy to talk to. We had a great conversation as we went through. He was invited by the head architect, the late Leroy Troyer, who actually saw it as his life's work to be able to build a Noah's Ark. And he had worked with President Jimmy Carter in Habitat for Humanity, providing housing for people in various parts of the world. And he knew that President Carter was very interested in woodworking, and so he wanted him to see the Ark, and he was absolutely amazed at the timber frame structure. Now, afterwards, he allowed one reporter from the local area to interview him, and that reporter, I remember I was standing there, and the very first question he asked was, well, do you agree with the message of Genesis that the Ark Encounter gives? And he said no. President Jimmy Carter said he believed in evolution, and he certainly made that very, very clear. But he was very impressed with the structure. Now, Jimmy Carter has said that he's a born-again Christian, and I would never question anyone's testimony in regard to that, even though he was extremely liberal and against many of the things that we at Answers in Genesis stand for from a biblical worldview perspective. But I do have a particular remembrance of Jimmy Carter, and that is that I asked him to sign my hard hat. And this is the hard hat we used at the time while the Ark was under construction. And so there we are. There's my autograph from Jimmy Carter right on the front of that hard hat. Who knows? Now it might be worth millions of dollars. Well, maybe not. But at least it's an interesting remembrance for me of that particular visit.